Eula Anderson knew better than believe in ghost stories. They were just tales passed down to scare kids or entertain during stormy nights. At least, that's what she thought until her 15th birthday sleepover, when her friends dared her to summon Bloody Mary. It began as a joke. The 6 girls, huddled in Eula's dimly lit bedroom, laughed nervously as they passed around a flashlight. Madison, the self-proclaimed leader of their group, smirked. "Come on, Eula. It's your party. You have to do it." Eula rolled her eyes but felt the heat of peer pressure on her neck. She grabbed the flashlight and stood, exuding a confidence she didn't truly feel. "Fine. But if Bloody Mary shows up, I'm blaming all of you." The girls erupted into giggles as Eula walked to the bathroom. She switched off the light and closed the door, leaving her in near total darkness. The air felt colder here, the silence oppressive. "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," she chanted, her voice steady but her heart pounding. Nothing happened. Just as she expected. She let out a shaky laugh and turned the flashlight back on. That's when she saw it, a fleeting shadow in the corner of the mirror. It wasn't her reflection. Eula stumbled back, her breath catching. She blinked hard, convincing herself it was a trick of the light, and rushed back to her friends. "See? Nothing happened," she said, forcing a grin. But deep down, she couldn't shake what she'd seen. The rest of the night passed uneventfully. The girls eventually fell asleep, their laughter replaced by the steady rhythm of snores. Eula lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Something about the shadow in the mirror wouldn't leave her mind. At 3:07 a.m. a faint noise stirred her. It was a tapping sound, faint and rhythmic. Tap. 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 She sat up, her heart pounding. The sound was coming from the bathroom. "Madison?" she whispered, but her friend was fast asleep. The tapping continued, more insistent now. Against her better judgment, Eula crept toward the bathroom. The door was ajar, revealing the mirror bathed in the moonlight filtering through the window. She pushed the door open, and the tapping stopped. For a moment, everything was still. Then, slowly, the mirror fogged over as though someone were breathing on it. Letters began to form, written by an invisible hand. "Help me." Eula stumbled back, her scream caught in her throat. The letters dissolved, replaced by a distorted reflection of herself, except her reflection wasn't copying her movements. Instead, it raised a hand and pointed directly at her. Over the next few days, Eula's life unraveled. Everywhere she went, she saw fleeting shadows in reflective surfaces, the screen of her phone, the glass of a picture frame, the surface of a puddle. And always, the same message would appear: "Help me." Desperate, Eula began researching the legend of Bloody Mary. She learned about Mary Worth, a woman accused of witchcraft centuries ago and executed unjustly. According to legend, Mary's soul became trapped in mirrors, seeking vengeance but also pleading for release. Eula realized this wasn't just a story. Mary was real, and she was trying to communicate. Sleep. That night, Eula decided to confront Mary. She stood in front of the bathroom mirror, clutching a silver locket she'd found in her grandmother's attic, a relic said to ward off evil spirits. "Mary Worth," she said aloud, her voice trembling. "I know you're there. What do you want from me?" The mirror fogged over, and Mary's face appeared, pale, gaunt, and hauntingly beautiful. Her eyes were filled with a mixture of rage and sorrow. "Release me." "How?" Eula whispered. Mary's reflection reached out, and Eula felt an icy hand brush against hers through the glass. Images flooded her mind. Mary's trial, her cries of innocence, her execution. And then, the spell that bound her to the mirror. The locket, Mary's voice echoed in Eula's mind. Destroy it. Eula hesitated. Could she trust Mary? What if destroying the locket unleashed something far worse? The shadowy figure in the mirror twisted, her face contorting in pain. Please, Mary begged. End this torment. With trembling hands, Eula placed the locket on the bathroom floor and smashed it with a hammer. A burst of light filled the room, and Mary's anguished scream echoed through the air. When the light faded, the mirror was empty. Eula never saw Mary again. The shadows disappeared, and her reflection behaved as it should. But sometimes, late at night, she'd catch herself staring into mirrors, wondering if Mary had truly found peace, or if the curse had simply passed to someone else. As Eula grew older, she avoided mirrors whenever she could. Deep down, she knew the truth: legends never truly die. They just wait for the next believer to call their name.